In this first exercise, we could see how to deal with the rainfall runoff alternative, creating two scenarios. And in these two scenarios, we compared two storm events. In the first storm event, we created a storm curve based on the SCS type 3 curve, where we distributed along 24 hours a 2 inches storm, and we created then a second storm, but we created a storm curve applying manually depth numbers by time, creating a user-defined storm. So in order to create two simulations to compare what happens in the same system with two different storms, we created two rainfall runoff alternatives. So in the alternatives manager, we can see we have two rainfall runoff alternatives, and the difference between them, if we double click, it's the global storm event. So we could see that looking at the results, both curves have the same total volume of storm water, but the difference between them is that the second storm has an intensity difference. We can understand more if we graph for one of the catchments the graph to see the total outflow from the catchment comparing the two scenarios. So you can understand that the second scenario, where we run a historical storm event, it has a higher intensity comparing to the first scenario. So the storm occurred over a shorter period of time, and as a consequence, it's more intense. We can also understand what's happening if we create a profile. So creating a profile along this conduit line, we could see that the storm events has a peak flow. We can see the peak flow in using interpretations at the nodes. At the nodes, we can see a red check mark. It's the highest hydraulic grade achieved along the simulation. So this is the profile for the first scenario. If we keep the first scenario opened, we can just switch to the second scenario, and we can see that we have the manhole number 4. It's a candidate to be flooded. The manhole number 4 is in a place where the conduits have a modest slope. So even having a higher diameter at these 3 less conduits, we have more depths because it has less slope, lowest slope comparing to the upstream conduits. Another thing that is, let's say, producing an issue is the fact that at the outfall element we defined that there is a tailwater at the elevation of 25 feet. So if we select that outflow node, we defined a tailwater by 25. So as a consequence, the conduit that is discharging at the outflow element is receiving water at a submerged outflow. So as a consequence, at the peak flow event, we can check that the conduit number 5 is operating undercharged. In this exercise, we also learned how to define a hydrograph based in a generic unit hydrograph. We created a curve where we defined the hydrograph ourselves. So in this way, we don't need to model a loss rate. So we keep the constant loss rate, as we can see in the properties attribute, by 0, because in these cases mostly the losses are computed when defining a generic unit hydrograph. So this is the exercise where we modeled a storm water sewer. If you were defining a combined or just a sanitary system instead of a stormwater system, the difference between the loading is that the sanitary loading is applied, can be applied directly at the manhole nodes as a point loading. And to do this, we have an attribute exclusively for this. It's the inflow sanitary loading. This attribute is connected to the alternative called sanitary loading. So we have a place to add this kind of data.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.